Hey everyone, Joe here. Well, I've got some more exciting news on the new Canon EOS 6D Mark II. Now, this camera is still supposed to come out or be announced on June the 29th, which is again my birthday, in case anybody wants to send me a birthday gift, like a new 6D Mark II. Anyway, we got some new and exciting news, and I'm pretty much everything I want to talk about today. I'm pretty sure all these specs are exactly what they should be by now. 1 week from now, the camera will be announced. So pretty much everything, you can pretty much take everything what we say today here as pretty much fact. And if anything is different, I'll bet you'll be very surprised. Now, I'm on Canon Rumors website. Of course, if you want to find out more Canon rumors and keep up rumors and stuff, Canon Rumors, website I actually go to. So anyway, here we go. Like we mentioned before, 26 megapixel CMOS sensor. Yes, that's pretty much given. Dual pixel autofocus. Yes, obviously that one's can pretty much be it. And it's saying here 1080p at 60 frames per second, no 4K. Yeah, I'm kind of saddened that they didn't put 4K in there, because not that I'd actually use it all the time. It's just the fact that I won't see Canon excel in the market. I don't want them to see them go bankrupt or anything, because I do, for the most part, like Canon gear. So I do see this as kind of hurting them by not putting 4K in there from just even a marketing standpoint. And even though most photographers would not use it, but still there are those that would, and people who would buy it just to have it, just in case their real video camera failed and they'd have a backup. I know a lot of people mentioned before that they're a photographer, they don't need the video settings. Yes, there are a lot of professional photographers that will buy video camera setups, record up weddings and events, then still have their DSLRs go ahead and shoot. But when you get into a pinch sometimes and you need another spare video camera to record a certain moment, even at 1080p, at least you still have something there. Yeah, a lot of people probably still want it in 4K, but there are people who are going to need it in a pinch or need a backup. And when it comes to when you're doing like weddings or events and stuff where you're getting paid big money to do these events, you want to have backup and security and insurance in place. Even not other insurance that pays the couple and stuff for screwing up their wedding, but just to keep insurance, keeping tarnishing your name and make sure you able to produce a quality product. All right, we've covered that. I know there's been a lot of debates in my previous video down in the comments, and I agree with both sides. I'm just saying, from a marketing standpoint, should have had 4K, even if most people don't use it. But 1080p, 60p, at least you got a backup camera on hand. Alrighty, here 45-point all cross-top autofocus system. Knew that was coming. That's to say, with an 80D, they're probably going to expand it out a little bit bigger to cover the larger sensor area, so the pattern might not be as tight as on the 80D, but still, it's a good amount of focus points and very usable. Single SD card slot. Now, this is the one area I'm more peed off about this, and we're actually more hurt, pissed, whatever you want to call it, than about the 4K. Because if you're marketing this towards photographers more than videographers, then that extra SD card slot is some of that other insurance, that you don't lose or screw up a wedding or event photo shoot. Here in the studio, you can either tether or take a few photos, take the SD card out, put it in the computer, see if you got everything, and put another SD card in and keep going. So it's not that big of an issue. But if somebody wants this for a spare camera, even if they shoot like the 5D series, whatever, but if they want a spare camera or just shoot with these, then that SD card slot is something they're going to consider when they need a camera or a system that's fully dependable and has backups in place in case one card fails. So, come on, Canon. What the hell here? You could have put two SD cards in the slots there. They're not expensive, and I'm pretty damn sure that you could have found the room. So that I'm kind of peed off about. Wi-Fi, of course. Bluetooth, of course. Near-field communication, yes. 3-inch vari-angle LCD. Yes, yes, yes. It is a vari-angle touch LCD. And we've got some photos on the other page over here where I got some more information on it. We'll get to it in just a moment. So we're going to cover these first. So yes, it's very angled, just like on the ADD and all the other small Rebel series. But this is a magnesium body. As far as I can 100% tell here, this is a full magnesium body. Now, the top part where the normal flash would be on top, the pop-up flash, there isn't on this model because it's a full frame. There never has been. It could still be plastic up there. That's where the GPS module will be. So to get the signal out, that could still be plastic on that part. But for the most part, this is going to be a magnesium body. And it is, on the pictures I can tell, because magnesium body is just a little rougher looking than say, the plastic ones. Or polycarbonate. It's not really plastic. All right, touchscreen, 100% viewfinder. Now, it says approximate. That's because depending on what type of format you're using, say like if you're moving or something around like that, it could be a little different. But for the most part, if you're looking straight out through with the normal aspect ratio, it is 100% viewfinder. It's just when you change the aspect ratio for the size and stuff, and it changes that coverage. HDR movie. Now, it doesn't say anything here about, but on the next page, it does mention the HDR time-lapse movie will be in 4K, coming from a solid source. And I don't see no reason why not, because it does take full, when you do time-lapse movie in these cameras, even like the ADD, it takes a full readout, then condenses it down. That's why when you record video, then also record a time-lapse video, you're like, holy hell here. The time-lapse, even at 1080p, is superbly sharp. It's so much sharp so that I have not bothered to record or do a normal old-style time-lapse where you have to go take individual photo and combine them in the computer anymore. It does such a good job in the camera. So, okay, not too bad. And if it does 4K on this one, even better. So, I'm happy with that. I don't see no reason they couldn't do it. They should have done it in ADD, but hey, at least they're doing it in the 6D Mark II. Of course, said time-lapse movie. HDR movie. Now, that is one is where, if anybody's not too sure about it, it does works very similar to like kind of the way the Magic Lantern does it, so it combines it in the camera. That's where it oscillates between two different ISO settings and combines them in the camera to create a video that has a higher level of dynamic range. Now, the thing is, when in Magic Lantern, you get extremely good shots doing this, but if you have anything moving in the subject, it can kind of give a lot of jitter in the frame. Now, Canon's doesn't do theirs to that extreme. It's maybe one ISO 100 to ISO 200 oscillation. It's very, very minor. I wish they would give you the option to expand it out, but I understand that a lot of people would try to use it when for normal videos and stuff. And there would be people kind of jittering in the frame because the way it oscillates between different ISOs. And that becomes an issue if you're recording, say, like at 30 frames per second. Because it's going to make people look like they're moving at 15 frames per second, kind of jittery. So, of course, if you're at 60, it's less noticeable. And of course, if you shoot at 120 frames per second, you wouldn't even notice it because the oscillation would be so fast. But nobody would want to use 720p these days because who does that? Really? All right. It says here slightly taller body and deeper body over the current 6D. That's to kind of fit the new form factor and stuff. New battery grip to fit that body, of course, and to be announced on June 29th. And the pricing is $19.99 for the U.S. pricing on the body, a body only. And that's what I honestly expected. That's what the previous 6D was right at $2,000 when it was released, body only. So that's to be expected, and that they keep all these features in this camera without having to raise the price is actually a good thing, because a lot of these cameras companies are having to raise prices because inflation and stuff, and at least they're not. They're keeping it the same as it was other 6D when it came out, so they're pricing it very well, I think. All right, the next page over here on Canon Rumors, and we got some photos. So if you want to see some photos of this, you're going to like it. All right, now it says here that number of pixels, again, is a 26.2 million. Dual pixel CMOS autofocus. 45 point all crossed up. Now the speed on this, a lot of people were wondering what the speed was, and I thought pretty sure they was probably going to hit around 7 frames per second. Probably not fast enough. I was actually guessing right at 7, only because 26 megapixels, digit 7 processor. They get the bus bandwidth, everything in the size of the camera should be the same as in the 80D, because you're not looking at sensor size, you look at the number of megapixels. Each one of those photo sites, the data they carry, it should have no problem hitting 7 frames per second. And of course, it says here 6.5 frames per second. This is probably due to other issues with inside the camera that can't do 7 frames per second. But 6.5, I think, is going to be pretty decent for the most part. This is not a wildlife camera, and I think with the 7D Mark II out there, they want to distinguish this isn't it. So I'm not hurt by this. I think 6.5 is pretty decent. Maximum ISO sensitivity up to 40,000. That's an odd number. Extended ISO up to 102,400. Extended is obviously nobody will ever use. I do wish they would have had it extended also where it could go down to 50 ISO. There's a lot of times people want to get a slightly lower ISO to really help, especially trying to use any kind of neutral density filters or something and really blur the background out. Not blur the background, but stretch the background out. For example, if you're trying to do like a long exposure and stuff, dropping down the lower ISO really does help. But it's probably just going to be ISO 100, which pretty much always. Now, here's the good thing I want to talk about. They are including the 5-axis electronic image stabilization in this body. So anybody that was kind of hurt, that didn't include 4K, at least you're getting 5-axis image stabilization. So if it's only recording part of it inside that sensor and you move around, it can keep things moving around without any loss of quality because you got more area for that part to record in. So that's a good thing. And so yeah, now I'm not sure if this 5-axis could go for the full photos as well, but in the previous, like the EOS M camera, the latest one that come out, that was for video only from what I understood. Now I didn't have one on hand to actually test myself, but everybody said that's pretty much video only. So I'm hoping this one is not only for video, but for also the regular stills and stuff. You pair that with the the regular camera lens image stabilization, mechanical stabilization. I think you'll have a solid system. Now it says here rear liquid crystal 3.0 type, probably 3-inch type or something nature. I'm not sure. Bally angle liquid crystal touch panel. All right, it's the standard. I don't know what it means, but Bali angle, because Bali is a city or something other in India or something. Bali angle. I'm not sure what they meant. I actually tried to Google that, and all they come up with window blinds. So, at an angle. So probably it's. And I'm looking down the pictures down here at the bottom, which I'm supposed to get to. It is just a regular flip out touchscreen. So good to go. Of course, it says again here Wi-Fi, Bluetooth installed, built-in GPS. The size is 144 by 110 by 74.8 millimeters. And the weight is 765 grams. So, yeah, I'm still thinking this is pretty much a magnesium body. So here, let's get over to what everybody's going to look at, and it is some photos here. And, of course, I'll put some bigger ones up on the screen as we talk about it. You can see the front of it here, in the bottom down at the corner, you have your PC port. The top here, almost identical to the 80D, except no pop-up filter. And the little light button for the LCD is to the side. The 80D is up further front, just a small amount. Pretty much identical. If you're using like 80D and come to this camera, especially like here on the back, this is almost identical. So you're going to have no problems going to use this camera if you can be completely familiar with it. From the time you pick it up, everything is in the same exact place. Next picture here. Still, one card slot, Canon. Damn you. Now, another reason I believe this is magnesium body, because you just look at the texture just looks magnesium. But also, if it was polycarbonate, right above the card slot here, top and bottom, there would be some screws to hold the body more solid. And you can see this looks more like one solid piece. So that's one reason I do believe it is magnesium. Now on the side here, they have elected to not have the microphone port. Not microphone, the headphone port. There is no headphone port on this one. Now again, this is a stills camera, not really intended for video, even though they are including a lot of nice little video features, except for 4K. Anyway. But be honest with you, even on my Canon 80, I've never used a headphone port. Just absolutely never had to, and never had a reason I wanted to. Now down here at the bottom, they do not have an intervalometer push button slot, for you plug in intervalometer. They do have the PC port though. I think for photographers, the PC port is more important than having an intervalometer port or remote wired shutter. Although I do really like having the wired shutter, to be quite darn honest with you. But it's got the PC port. And I guess for that spot, it's going to have either one or the other. So, whatever on that one. And, of course, you have the USB and HDMI ports there on the side. And I believe that's basically it on the pictures stuff. Yeah, there's only 5 pictures out. And they're coming from one of those Japanese websites. I can't pronounce the name correctly. Sounding like I'm cussing. Nakashita, I think is what it is. Anyway, so far, what I've seen, except for the not having dual card slots, I'm pretty happy with the overall specs of the camera. And I think it should work out pretty good. Now, obviously, the 60 is going to be weather sealed. Now, I say weather sealed. It doesn't mean go throw it in the ocean and swim down at the bottom, pick it up, and it be no water in it. Absolutely not. But if you happen to get caught in a little rain shower, it's kind of help kiss that. A little, dust storm or something other, as long as you're not, trying to use it in a huge dust storm, you should be fine. It's just for to keep out, moisture and dust out of your lens and body. Of course, weather sealing means nothing if your lens is not fully weather sealed as well. So anyway, I think it's going to be a pretty interesting camera. Can't wait for it to come out. And will I get one? Probably not this year. Will I consider it next year? Probably so. Probably next year. But this year, I'm not planning on buying another camera. Although I am excited. And if I do buy another camera, it probably will be this one. So anyway, that's it for this video. I'd like to know what everybody else's thoughts are on this camera. What do you think about the new 6D Mark II? Will you buy it? Will you not get it? You think it's garbage? You think it's great? Post your comments and stuff down the bottom. I'd like to hear from you on this. Overall, like I said, I'm pretty excited with it. And I can't wait for it to come out and see how it actually performs in real life. So anyway, that's it for this video. One, I hope you liked it. If you do, please give me a thumbs up. Thumbs up is always highly appreciated. If you're not a subscriber to my channel, please take the time to subscribe. Subscribing is free. It's for you. It lets you know when I release more videos. Until next time, thank you for watching.